The cameras started rolling. The lights dimmed. In an instant, the world was about to witness something no one could have ever expected. Jim Jones, the legendary rapper, known for his bold confidence and flashy lifestyle, broke down live on air. This wasn't the Jim Jones everyone was used to seeing. Gone was the cool, fearless artist who always seemed untouchable whenever he stepped onto a stage. That night, the world saw a different side of him one few knew existed. As the camera zoomed closer, his face turned pale. His eyes filled with tears, and for a moment, the entire studio froze. The air grew heavy, thick with tension, and even through the television screen, viewers could feel the unease. Then, in a shaky, almost whispering voice, Jim spoke. "I'm struggling," she said, barely loud enough to hear. Fans across the world were stunned, struggling to process what they had just witnessed. But what came next was even more surprising. Chrissy Lampkin, his longtime partner and biggest supporter, reacted in a way no one had predicted. Was this the beginning of the end for the couple that many had admired for years? The cameras caught every second. The division among their family, the disbelief of their fan base, it was all happening in real time. And one question lingered heavily in everyone's mind. What had pushed Jim Jones to this emotional breaking point? And what did the future hold for the once rock-solid couple? One thing was clear, the drama had only just begun. As the scene continued to unfold, the weight in the room seemed almost unbearable. Jim sat in the center of the stage, a place where he usually commanded attention with ease. But tonight, he was different. The powerful energy he was known for was gone. In its place was a man visibly shaken and vulnerable. The camera captured every detail. His signature smirk, the one that often acted as a shield, had completely disappeared. His usual confident posture was replaced by nervous fidgeting. His face looked worn, his body tense. It was like watching someone slowly unravel piece by piece. It quickly became obvious that Jim had not expected the conversation to take this turn. The show's host, a well-known figure in the entertainment world, tried to ease him into talking. But under the harsh glare of the studio lights, Jim looked deeply uncomfortable. He rubbed his hands together nervously, his gaze fixed straight ahead. The silence was overwhelming. You could almost hear every heartbeat in the room. Finally, Jim broke the tension, speaking in a barely there voice. "I didn't want to admit this, but I'm struggling." The words hung heavily in the air. His jaw tightened as if he was trying to physically hold himself together. His face twisted with raw emotion. You could tell he was wrestling with himself, fighting to stay composed even as his world crumbled before everyone's eyes. This was not the Jim Jones. The world knew the man who had fought his way up in the music world with unshakable toughness. This was someone grappling with something far bigger and far more painful. A collective gasp rippled through the studio. Jim Jones, the man famous for his unbreakable will and no-nonsense attitude, was laying himself bare for the world to see. But what exactly was tearing him apart inside? Was it the endless demands of fame? The crushing pressure to always appear strong? Or was there a deeper, darker struggle that had been brewing under the surface for years? Sitting beside him, Chrissy shifted in her chair, her eyes locked on Jim. Her face revealed 1,000 emotions. Worry, confusion, fear. It was clear she hadn't expected this. Had she known he was carrying such a heavy burden? Or was she learning about it for the first time, along with everyone else? Their usual playful chemistry was gone. In its place was a heavy silence filled with words they hadn't yet spoken. Jim, gathering himself, continued speaking. His voice grew a little stronger, but remained raw. "I've been through so much," he said, his words slow and deliberate. "Everyone thinks I've got it all figured out. That I'm good. That I'm living the dream. But the truth is, it's been harder than anyone could ever imagine. Each word he spoke seemed to take incredible effort. His breathing was uneven, his hands trembling slightly in his lap. "I'm not okay," Jim said, looking down. "I haven't been okay for a long time." Recognizing the seriousness of the moment, the host leaned forward, speaking softly so as not to pressure him. "Jim," he said gently, "you've always been the strong one. A role model. Why open up now?" Jim let out a shaky breath, his chest rising and falling heavily. His eyes darted around the room, searching for the right words. The emotional weight was almost too much to bear, even for those just watching. "I've been battling my own demons," he said, his voice cracking under the strain. "I've been pretending everything's fine. Smiling, performing, living like nothing's wrong. But it's not. It's not fine." For a moment, he paused, looking at Chrissy as if drawing strength from her presence. "I told myself it's just part of the hustle," he continued. "Just part of the game. But it's not. It's bigger than that." Chrissy, who had stayed silent until now, looked like she wanted to say something but hesitated. The camera caught the moment her hand moved slowly to rest on Jim's arm. She didn't speak. She didn't need to. The gesture said everything. Even Chrissy, the rock in their relationship, looked overwhelmed by the depth of Jim's confession. Tears welled in her eyes, but she quickly wiped them away, trying to stay strong for him. Jim pressed on, speaking about how his struggles had seeped into every corner of his life. "But it's not just me dealing with it," he said, his voice soft. "Everyone around me feels it too. It's like a shadow that follows me everywhere." He glanced at Chrissy, his voice breaking with emotion. "And Chrissy, she's been caught in it too." Chrissy nodded silently, a tear slipping down her cheek. It was clear she was hurting too, not just for him, but for both of them. The love between them was real, but so was the pain. Time seemed to stand still in that studio. No one dared to move. No one even breathed too loudly. It was a moment so heavy, so real, that it pressed down on everyone witnessing it. As Jim continued to open up, it became clear that his battle wasn't just about mental health. The pressure from his career, the constant hustle, the never-ending expectations from fans, all of it had worn him down over time. "I thought I could handle it all," he said, voice almost a whisper. "But it's a lot. Sometimes it's just too much." The cameras caught Chrissy's face again. Her eyes spoke volume sadness, fear, love, all swirling together. She had stood by his side through everything, but hearing him speak so openly about his pain clearly shook her. Was this the moment their relationship would crumble? Or could they find a way to weather the storm together? Sensing how intense the room had become, the host tried to gently shift the mood. "Jim," he said warmly, "what you're doing being honest, that's strength. Real strength. Have you thought about reaching out for help? Therapy? Support?" Jim gave a small, tired smile. "I've tried to hold it all together for so long," he said. "Acted like I was fine. Like nothing could touch me. But I can't do that anymore. I can't keep pretending." He fell silent again, staring down at his hands. The camera focused on Chrissy. Her hand still rested on Jim's arm, her thumb gently stroking his skin in a silent gesture of comfort. Her eyes shimmered with unshed tears, full of love and concern. In that moment, it wasn't just Jim's pain on display. It was theirs. Together, Jim had finally let down his guard, letting the world see the man behind the music, the fame, the reputation. And it was raw, honest, and heartbreaking. The journey ahead for Jim and Chrissy wouldn't be easy. They were standing at a crossroads, one that would test their love, their patience, and their strength. But maybe, just maybe, by tearing down the walls he had spent so long building, Jim had taken the first step toward healing. Not just for himself, but for them both. The world had seen the glitz and the glamour. Now, it was seeing the truth. And sometimes, That's where the real story begins. As the cameras faded to black, one thing became clear. This moment wasn't just about Jim Jones breaking down. It was about the reality that even our strongest heroes can carry invisible battles we never see. Jim's raw honesty wasn't a sign of weakness. It was proof of just how strong he really is for speaking his truth when the world expects him to stay silent. Chrissy's silent support, her hand resting on his arm, said more than words ever could. It reminded everyone watching that love isn't just about sharing the good times, it's about standing beside someone even when they're falling apart. This wasn't just a breaking point, it was a turning point. The question now is, where does Jim Jones go from here? Will he and Chrissy fight through the storm together? Can he rebuild himself stronger than before? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, millions of people are now rooting for him, not just as an artist, but as a man brave enough to show his pain to the world. If this moment teaches us anything, it's that it's okay to not be okay. And sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is admit you need help. Thank you for watching. If this story touched you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful moments like this. And remember, you never know who might be fighting a silent battle, so be kind. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.